In this episode of Urban U, a journalism school alum is on a mission to shake up African politics, racking up millions of viewers on YouTube, and now, her own TED Talk. The New York City Comptroller's Office helps recent CUNY grads with a 6-month paid fellowship. Ranked as one of Forbes' most powerful women in the world, this woman talks about the creation of the career center that bears her name and shapes future generations of Brooklyn College students. We'll explore a new book that takes the lessons of ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus and updates them for the modern world. And just because we don't have school sports right now, doesn't mean we don't have school sports spirit. A look at the school mascots of the CUNY colleges. All this and more. Happy 2021, everyone, and welcome to Urban U.
This is not really happening, but it is.
Yes, please give it up. Hey!
Her name is Adeola Fayehun.
People, it's your girl, Adeola. Thank you so much.
But a lot of people know that already. Certainly the almost 500,000 people subscribed to her YouTube channel know her name.
So now let's go for 1 million, please.
And so do over 1 million viewers who watched her recent TED Talk done virtually.
This is a big deal because right now everybody in my village is watching this. And so, of course, my bride price just went up.
The Craig Newmark J School alum has become a force with her snappy YouTube show, Keeping It Real with Adeola, a platform where she keeps it real about corrupt African politicians.
Taking down a dictator that was in power for 27 years, and he left the country worse than it was when he took over. I was 19 when I left Nigeria, and up until that time, I had never known stable electricity. I had never known roads that didn't have potholes, and I had never known stable running water for 19 years of my life. So when I moved to the US, I was turned that the water was running, that electricity was stable. And so when I realized that there's another way of living, that all these basic amenities could actually be provided, I felt angry from inside and I wanted to do something about it. As a Nigerian and growing up in Nigeria, respect is very, very important. So if I'm trying to cuss out a politician, I kneel for them, I call them my uncle, I psych them up, and then I insult them for insulting our intelligence. Sorry, Your Excellencies, all of you that are, but move closer. What is paining me right now is the innocent wives, and the innocent house helps, and the side chicks as well. You get what I'm saying? I don't really give a damn about them. I can't say that.
Is there nobody else that could be governor in the whole of Ekiti State?
What inspired you to take the satirical route when it comes to journalism?
I enjoy shooting this. If I have fun while doing this, hopefully the person watching me would also enjoy watching it. So I do talk about some serious issues. So there would be intense moments in some of the videos that I make, but at some point I try to lighten up people's mood as well.
One of the more intense stories she covered happened this past October after the Nigerian military reportedly opened fire on peaceful Nigerian protesters who were calling for an end to police brutality in the country. The movement was dubbed End SARS in reference to the country's special anti-robbery squad that was formed to protect citizens of Nigeria from criminals, but instead, the unit has been accused of wreaking havoc on the lives of everyday people.
It's so hard to process and you want to report about it, but you can't even get yourself together. I don't know if that makes sense.
And yet she manages to tackle the hard stories as she remains focused on a major goal that she described during her TED Talk.
Africa is like a sleeping giant. Now, the truth is, I'm trying to wake up this giant, and that's why I air the dirty laundry of those in charge of the giant. We've got skills, intellectuals, natural resources more than any other continent. But without good leaders, we're like an eagle that has no idea it could fly.
She also hopes her personal story can inspire other immigrants looking to make their professional mark in the Western world.
I mean, I was told that I can never do well in the media here in America because of my accent. I went to Nigeria when I was in grad school trying to get a license to set up a media company, and they basically laughed at me at the Broadcasting Corporation and told me all the reasons why it would never happen. So there's always a way when you want to do something. You should never take no, and you should never give up.
Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.
Abby Ashola for Urban U.
I wanted to take a moment and thank our first responders. We are so grateful for all of your hard work. All of the York College Cardinals appreciate everything you're doing out there. Please take care of yourselves and let us know what we can do to pitch in and help. Keep doing what you're doing and be who you are, to be the heroes that you are. Thank you again for all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your selflessness. And thank you for continuing to fight day in and day out to make this world a safer place for all of us.
Let's go. Great work.
Thank you to all the healthcare workers and first responders.
All the frontline heroes, thank you. Gracias.
Te damos las gracias y que Dios te proteja.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you so much for all your help. Thank you.
Grazie per tutto il tuo duro lavoro.
Thank you. We really appreciate all the work you're doing out on the front line. Stay safe. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
On behalf of York College Athletics, thank you for all that you're doing.
During a pandemic, even internships become a work-from-home experience, but with a tight job market, even a home-based experience is incredibly valuable.
The future of the city is in the next generation, and sometimes we have to be prepared to give our kids the internships and the life experiences they need in order to continue their higher education.
New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer is responsible for auditing the city's finances, but graduating from college in the middle of a pandemic means jobs are scarce, so Stringer has stepped in and stepped up, offering recent CUNY graduates a paid 6-month work-from-home fellowship with the Comptroller's office.
This gets some of our students off the sidelines, kids who may be at home looking for things to do but not finding an opportunity. This is an opportunity to come in, to get a paid internship, to be in an office that really touches the lives of a lot of New Yorkers.
We had a chance to meet 3 of the program's 20 participants and learn about their job-seeking experience in the real world, armed with a shiny new CUNY undergraduate degree in the midst of a pandemic. Shaniqua Goins from Rosedale, Queens, attended John Jay College and majored in computer science and information security. Rima Dola from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, is a Baruch graduate who studied finance. And Jose Suarez from Astoria, Queens, went to Hunter and majored in media studies.
You've been in school for 4 years and you're coming up on your big year, and all of a sudden you graduate into the middle of a global pandemic. What has it been like for each of you as you graduate during this pandemic?
I'm a first-generation college student, so being the first in my family to graduate was already a big achievement that I was looking forward to. And to have to do that from my living room was kind of disappointing, to say the least.
I'm also a first-generation graduate in my family. When it came to my media department graduation, basically my mom decorated the whole living room with congratulations and balloons and everything.
Is there something that you worked on, a project in particular that with the Comptroller's office that you really learned something from?
I was doing auditing for the Department of Education, and part of that was doing a lot of researching to making sure that I have my evidence from the comptroller side, the laws and policies.
So I work within the Bureau of Asset Management, and I work on the 5 different pension plans for New York City employees. So you see a police officer walking on the sidewalk and you're like, oh, I've senior pension plan on a spreadsheet or something like that, or teachers, like my mom works in the Department of Education. So just seeing those numbers flying around, it just makes it a lot more tangible.
I've been working a lot on gathering news clips and working on Mayor de Blasio briefings and, you know, getting as much information as I can to the press office.
Besides experience, the fellowship will also provide each graduate with an impressive resume credential and, according to the comptroller, an opportunity to grow.
It's great to see them at the beginning, but also see them at the end of the internship and see that their eyes are open to new experiences.
I'm Andrew Falzone for Urban U.
I had three choices: Brooklyn College, or Brooklyn College. That was what my parents thought was right for me. I grew up in Crown Heights. My entire family, both my parents and as well as my siblings, are all CUNY graduates. My dad and brother from City College, my mom, Hunter, my sister and I from Brooklyn College. There was never an expectation that I would go any place but Brooklyn College. My name is Marge Magner, and I'm a trustee of the Brooklyn College Foundation. Brooklyn College did a lot to prepare me for my career in business. I was a psychology major, and I have told people often that the most important course I ever had in preparation for my business career was abnormal psychology. And while I joke about it, the reality is what I learned was people are different. People think differently, people respond differently, and I didn't really understand that before. I mean, you kind of grow up thinking everybody's like everyone you know. It's not just the skill sets you have, it's your ability to understand people and relate to people and care about them, and that's ultimately the foundation from my perspective of leadership, and that's where I first got it. I've achieved in my business career at a level that many people who've had very, very impressive educations. You know, I always joke about it, schools with fancy names. Not so many people from public education, but my education was at least as good, if not better. Magna Career Center is a response to the needs of the Brooklyn College students. And what struck me was these Brooklyn College students were as smart and as well educated as any of these other young people I had met. And the likelihood of them having the kind of successful career that they should have was much less, because they did not have the friends of the family who were going to help them get an internship at Goldman. But we, the graduates, the alums of Brooklyn College, many of us who were blessed to have wonderful careers, we could be their aunts and uncles. We could be the friends of the family that they don't have and help them and be there as mentors and helpers to these students to get them ready. They didn't know how to do a resume. They didn't know how to go on an interview. There were fundamental issues that were very addressable if we just created a place that focused on it. And that was the Magner Center. I think the most important thing for students to know about the Magner Career Center is that it's there for them to help them with their lives and their future. It doesn't do it for them. It helps them. It prepares them. They have to do the hard work. But there is a place they can go for guidance and help and encouragement. All they have to do is open the door, and they know they're welcome. And that's important. And they should always look for those places that are there to help them. and then they should be there to help someone else. And then we've achieved what needed to be done.
The volume of food and product that is not being wasted, that is supporting upstate farms and helping downstate families is tremendous.
One of the most important early Stoics was Epictetus. He was active between the late 1st century and early 1st century of the modern era. He started out actually in Hierapolis, which is in modern-day Western Turkey, and he was a slave when he was born. In fact, we don't know his real name. Epictetus just means acquired. He was brought to the court of the Emperor Nero as a slave, and eventually, since he was bright, he studied philosophy, and he was given his freedom, and he started teaching philosophy in the streets of Rome first. Epictetus' name was very well known from antiquity through the Middle Ages, throughout the Renaissance, and even the early modern period. However, his name has kind of gone into a little bit of an eclipse with the beginning of the 20th century, when philosophy moved away from really practical applications and from the notion that it should be a way of living. That's too bad. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote this book, because I think that more people should appreciate the philosophy of Epictetus. My book is called A Field Guide to a Happy Life, because life happens in the field, right? It's an actual thing. It's not something that you want to talk just theoretically. And it has two objectives, really. On the one hand, it is, in a sense, my personal homage to Epictetus. Epictetus literally changed my life for the better, and I think he should be better known. But at the same time, Stoicism is, of course, now more than 2,000 years old. And so in the Field Guide, I'm trying to imagine what would a modern 21st century Stoicism look like once you take into account not just the ancient ideas, but you update them to modern times. One of the fundamental ideas of Stoicism in general and of Epictetus' philosophy in particular is sometimes referred to as the dichotomy of control. Epictetus basically says that some things are up to us and other things are not up to us, and that we should focus on the things that are up to us, because those are the ones that we can change, and then develop an attitude of equanimity toward the kinds of things that we cannot actually change. Now, we are in the middle of a pandemic, so let me give you an example. Well, under my control is a judgment about the situation, right? I can inform myself, and then I can act accordingly. I can wear masks, I can practice social distancing. On the other hand, the outcome is not under my control. Even if I do everything right, I might still get the virus, because, you know, I'm a biologist and I can tell you viruses are pretty sneaky things. And at that point, I will reset things and I'll say, okay, well, now I got it. So now what is under my control? And then again, it's the same thing. Well, my judgments, my actions are under my control, but the outcome of those actions, whether I'm going to actually recover or not, that's not up to me. And one of the lessons says that everything that we think we own, it's actually not ours. For the Stoics, all we think we have is actually on loan from the universe. When we talk about my wife or my husband or my house or my friends and so on and so on, my money, etc., all of these are actually ours only in a sense similar to where you go to a hotel and you check in, that's your room. It is, yes, but it's on loan. You're going to be there for a period of time and then you leave. Now, this has a lot of practical implications. It means, for one thing, that we develop over time an attitude of less attachment to both things and people. People and things eventually, inevitably, will go. It doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you prepare yourself for the inevitable mentally, so that when it does come, you're able to better deal with it. One of my favorite bits in Epictetus' manual, which I sort of repurposed for the 21st century in the Field Guide, is this notion of, what are you waiting for? Let's say it's near the end of the year and we all come up with these New Year's resolutions, right? Oh, next year I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to go exercise. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to quit smoking, all of this stuff. But Epictetus says, why on earth are you waiting for next year? If you think that this is an important thing to do and you think that it's good for you, the Olympic Games, as he uses a metaphor, the Olympic Games have already started and you're behind. So don't wait until next year or next month or tomorrow morning. Just start right here, right now, because this is your life. It's not somebody else's life. If it's important to you, you should act now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Precious Sollars Mulhern, a counseling psychologist in the Counseling Center at BMCC. I'm so happy that we made it through the many challenges of 2020, and we're now facing a new year with new possibilities for growth. As we embark upon this new year, it's important for us to reflect upon all of the things that have happened to us and through us during 2020. Let's remember the many creative ways that we've learned to stay connected with each other, even during lockdown. So to remain resilient, it's important that we allow time every day to remember the things that make us happy. It's important that we read or listen to podcasts that lift our spirits. It's important to allow quiet time to simply be with ourselves without judgment. It's important to continue to move throughout the day, to take frequent breaks, to stand up, to stretch, or take a walk outside. If we follow Monk Shetty's model of thankfulness, inspiration, meditation, and exercise, we'll find that we are becoming more thankful, inspired, mindful, and enthusiastic every day. And yes, we'll have to practice every day. So, Happy New Year. Be safe and stay positive.
Way back in March of 2019, we were looking forward to the March Madness tournament. As such, we were excited for our For the Record that month, the history of City College's dual NCAA NIT championship. Of course, days later, the city, country, world, universe shut down, taking March Madness and sports in general along with it.
What's going to happen to the NCAA tournament, which is driven so much by the mania of the fan?
But with the CUNY Athletic Conference still closed down for intercollegiate sports, well, we got the urge to scratch some of that sports itch again.
Here comes the push, Jack Sixsmith. Up ahead, it's Boateng for the title. He got it!
So we decided on a showcase of the most important aspect of our CUNY fighting spirit. Without further ado, the mascots of our CUNY schools. Now, not every one of CUNY's 25 institutions competes in sports, but by and large, what CUNY may lack in ESPN College game day appearances, we more than make up for in entertaining mascots. So to start, right where we left off with the last sports For the Record, the City College Beavers, which means the only team to win both the NCAA and NIT tournaments in the same season will forever remain just the most fearsome semi-aquatic rodent you ever did see. Naturally, there are also plenty of your classic mascots represented. Medgar Evers is the Cougars, Queens College is the Knights, York College the Cardinals, and Queensborough the Tigers. Also, there's the BMCC Blue Panthers and the LaGuardia Red Hawks. Because what's the only thing better than animals? Colorful animals, obviously. Not to be outdone by their Red Hawk Long Island neighbors, Hunter College leans into the alliteration instead, with simply the Hunter Hawks. And for fans of alliteration, we've got plenty more where that came from. The Baruch Bearcats, Lehman Lightning, Gutman Grizzlies, Macaulay Mountain Lions, and with extra points for matching the first 3 letters, the Bronx Broncos. Now, of course, no college system would be complete without someone named the Wildcats or Bulldogs, right? And indeed, Brooklyn stepped up here. They began as the Kingsmen, renamed themselves the Bridges, and are now the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Kingsborough College is the wave. Given their shoreline location, that's a nice touch. John Jay, too, naming themselves the Bloodhounds as a college of criminal justice. And finally, my two personal favorites, the Hostos Caymans, Go Cayman Nation, and of course, the one, the only, Danny the Dolphin, the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island. So, now that you can properly deck yourself out in your favorite team gear, we'll be sure to see you out there in the bleachers cheering when CUNY Athletics gets back on the field. For the record, I'm Ari Goldberg. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with this, the third annual and first ever virtual CUNY Pride Fest celebrations, postponed last summer, but now recently hosted by Queens College. And don't forget to check out our social media pages and to share these stories from the nation's largest urban university, the City University of New York. Por eso mismo digo vente. 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 Por eso mismo digo